Can I just ask you one thing? 20 seconds. Nothing to do with DOGE. Can you rescue the astronauts?
Yes, we're bringing them back in a few weeks.
There's not near enough attention being paid to this. You're going to get them back?
We're going to get them back.
God bless. Wow. I just love that. I know we had it in the riff, but I just love that. Joining us now, North Dakota Senator Mr. Kevin Cramer, a very dear friend. You know, Senator Cramer, not near enough attention has been given to the astronauts that left up in space. Joe Biden just left them, literally dangling in space. And that's why I asked Elon, because I know, you know, because of SpaceX and so forth. And I was so happy that he gave that answer. He didn't bat an eye, just gave that answer in the next couple of weeks. And I just think that's thrilling. And, you know, God bless those astronauts. We have to save their lives.
Well, we do, Larry. And just to be clear, those astronauts are professionals trained to be able to stay up there for a long time. But the expectation is they're supposed to come home much sooner. And the space station right now doesn't have enough astronauts to really man the entire station. So it gets very complex. But to the point about Elon, it's one more illustration of what a good guy he is. And people who don't like Elon have never met Elon Musk. I mean, he is truly one of the most gentle creatures and sweet men, really, that you've been around. Now, he's exceptional in so many ways. It's hard, you know, not to see him as something different than the rest of us, because he is different than the rest of us. But he's also a good guy.
He's a very brilliant, thoughtful man, and I think he is a compassionate man. I agree. But I'd just say, Senator, you know, pictures of those astronauts, they have gotten so skinny. I mean, I don't know what's going on with them, and I hope that Elon can do it in the next couple of weeks, because it would be a great thing for this country, and it's a humanitarian thing. And as you noted, shame on people who keep attacking Elon Musk. Shame on him. He's just doing a good job. He's doing a good job for this. Not just for Trump. He's doing a good job for this country. He's doing stuff.
Well, it's a sacrificial mission. Right? It's sacrificial to him.
But you look, the GAO's come out with a study last year, 500 billion, what was it, 530 billion in waste, fraud, and abuse throughout the government. And most of that is lodged in the entitlements. But nothing ever happened, Senator. You know what I mean? No action was ever taken. This time, as Elon talked to me about, and Russ Vought, the OMB director, we're going to have a rescission package. We're going to build it into the baseline. We're going to take the appropriations out with simple majorities. It will not go to waste. This exercise will not go to waste.
No, the rescission piece is really important, because this is the advantage again of having a majority in both chambers and a Republican president. He can make the request, the very specific rescission request. It takes a simple majority to pass it, and we have to act within 45 days of the request. Now, it's not easy to do. There's always a couple of people that maybe have a concern here or there about a particular project, but working quickly and together, we can absolutely do that, Larry. And that doesn't get talked about a whole lot, for sure. You're right.
So what happens? You just line out the authorization or the appropriation? Is it like ripping up a check? Because I think a lot of people don't know what a rescission is.
So it's actually, you know, if you take the word rescind and just think about what that means, you're literally rescinding the authority to spend that money on that particular program. Right. And then that gets, put on the balance sheet on the other side of the ledger, which, let's face it, it would go a long ways. If we could actually get, $500 billion, if you will, in a rescission package, or $100 billion, or $50 billion. Remember, Larry, this was tried in the first Trump administration with $15 billion, and we couldn't get the votes in the Senate to do it. We have a little cushion this time. Hopefully we can get that done working hand in glove.
Just before we lose you, Trump won one in Canada. Now, the Canadian, the Ontario Prime Minister, I believe his name is King. Is that his name?
Doug Ford.
Ford. He's not a king, he's a Ford. Okay. So he decided to put an extra surtax on electricity, and then Trump banged up the aluminum and steel tariff to 50%, and sure enough, within hours, the guy relented and took it down. Now, that's an exercise in reciprocity. It's also an exercise in tough negotiations. I just want to get your take on it here in the last minute.
Well, first of all, I know Doug Ford really well, not quite as well as I know Donald Trump. They're very similar people, and by the way, would get along very, very well, and they should do that, actually. The reality is this was a great illustration of the intricacies of the Canadian-U.S. Infrastructure and supply chains. And electricity is really important to Michigan and Minnesota and New York City, for sure. But as I just told a group of reporters at the Punch Bowl News event conference, I said, If you're going
10
to
seconds.
if you're going to start a war, you've got to bring live ammunition, and that's what Donald Trump intuitively understands.
Wow. Well put. Senator Kevin Cramer, thank you, sir. Very well put. Good to see you fit as a fiddle.